What's up, everybody? Reagan here. Today I am very excited to take a look at set 9492. This is from all the way back in the year 2012. This is the TIE Fighter that came out that year. Originally retailed for $55, adjusted for inflation, that's roughly $77 to $80. But if you want a new one, sealed in box today, like I have here before you guys, it's going to cost you right around $100. Taking a look at the box art here, I gotta say I am super nostalgic for this 2012 Darth Maul art. I just think it looks awesome, and this is the art that was around right around when I was starting to get into LEGO, so it's very near to my heart, but I think it complements this particular box very well. Another thing I'm super nostalgic for is having the minifigures going up and down on the side of the box as opposed to having them go from side to side on the bottom of the box. Again, super unique thing that I'm just super nostalgic for. I think it looks good. And all in all, I gotta say this box has some really good presentation on the front side with the TIE Fighter and the Death Star in the background and the Darth Maul box art. I think it all comes together very well. On the top of the box, you're going to have another window of all four of your minifigures, and then the other sides of the box are just various, legal information, and then you have different shots of the TIE Fighter. Moving to the back of the box, you can see it parked in a hangar bay on the Death Star. You get all your features displayed in different angles of the ship, but I really want to focus on this little window that has the minifigures of the set running not through the hallway of the Death Star, but of the Trade Federation carrier ship, which I think is really funny. I guess LEGO just didn't have a stock image of the Death Star hallway. But yeah, they look good. It's just funny that they're not in the Death Star. And then right above that, you also have a reference to the X-Wing that came out in this same wave. I've never had that set, but it was very cool, and I like to see it shouted out here on the box. All in all, this is a pretty good box. Let's take a look at what's inside. All right, so having taken a full look at the box, I'm going to go ahead and get this bad boy unsealed. Again, if you guys would like to see more unboxing of old sealed sets, please like and share and try to get this one around. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, just got some tape seals on this side. And cutting in. And opening this bad boy up. Well, first of all, set that over there. First of all, the instructions are in really good condition for 2012. It's kind of weird that it's oriented sideways while the box is oriented more square, but I do really like this photo of the TIE Fighter with the Death Star in the background and Darth Maul right here. I think that looks pretty awesome. And if you want some nostalgia, got some 2012 sets up here and some 2012 minifigures down here. I don't know if this was in like the January wave or what, but I think it's pretty cool. And then you have a nice, oh, that's cool. You got a neat little comic in the back of the instructions manual for it, chasing that X-Wing I mentioned earlier. And here's just the set and its minifigs, and then the parts that's there. So pretty cool on the instruction manual side. First of all, just a couple of exposed pieces, no bag or anything. That's crazy. So it's come out like right there. And then we have 1, 2, and 3 bags. Wow, just 3 bags for this $55 set back in the day. It just shows you kind of how the footprint of the TIE Fighter matters a little bit more than like the pieces that go into making it. But yeah, so that's the contents of the box. And yeah, I'm gonna get this bad boy built, and then we'll go ahead and review it. All right, well, I have the TIE Fighter set completed here, and we're gonna start off by taking a look at our minifigures. The set has 4 minifigures, and the first one we're going to start off with is the Death Star Trooper. This figure was new for this set back in 2012, and what makes him so special is kind of funny because it's that special molded helmet on top. The helmet looks great, but I can't look at it and not think of the Family Guy bit about snow shovels.
We're missing a bunch of snow shovels from the storeroom. Does anyone know anything about that?
Snow shovels?
No.
No, haven't seen any snow shovels.
I haven't heard about it.
No.
No idea.
Which I think is just really funny and just gets a laugh out of me every time I think about it. This figure's pretty good. He is the only figure in the set to come with an accessory, that being that blaster. He has some pretty good detailing on his torso, but no back or leg printing, unfortunately. He also does have a second face with goggles. Our second minifigure is going to be the TIE Fighter pilot, and this was back when the TIE Fighter pilot was a new minifigure, and yeah, very minimal printing here. Very little detailing on the torso and on the helmet, and then you're not going to see any arm printing or leg printing or back printing like you would on a normal TIE fighter pilot today. Underneath that helmet, he does have a black head that has a little opening in his mask, which is not only really accurate, but just helps the figure look better, in my opinion. So all in all, not a perfect minifigure, but pretty solid. Our next minifigure is the Imperial Officer, and I'm sorry, I can't look at this guy and not think of the German officers from the LEGO Indiana Jones game. But looking past that, he has some pretty nice torso detailing, very basic, same with the back print. He has a nice evil-looking face print, and then he has that older style Imperial Officer hat as opposed to the newer style. So this figure, while a good inclusion, is kind of a little outdated, but still nice to see him in this $55 set. Our final minifigure is one that I think is still exclusive to this day. This is R5J2. He was an astromech droid seen on the second Death Star when Vader arrives in that Imperial shuttle. And yeah, he looks very good. He has some wonderful shiny metallic printing with like a copper color and a silver color on the front. Unfortunately, no detail on the back. This is way before they did printing on the back of astromech droids, but they do have some nice shiny copper detailing even on top of his head, which I think looks really good. So all in all, pretty good little astromech droid and a really unique inclusion that makes this set just a little bit more valuable. Overall, I think this selection of minifigures is really good. It's nice to see so many figures in this $55 set, especially ones that you can only really access through the giant Master Builder series Death Stars up to this point. Even though a few of them are a little outdated, I do still like the Death Star Trooper and the R5 figure, and the TIE Pilot Imperial Officer, while, you know, a little simple, they still add a lot of value to the set. And yeah, that's the minifigures. Now let's take a look at the TIE Fighter build. Taking a look at the TIE Fighter, one thing I wanted to get out of the way is that for some reason a great many of the pieces in this set, instead of being light bluish gray, turned out to be much closer to the old LEGO light gray. They're yellowed and greened out, and I have no idea how that happened considering that this set has been sealed inside a box for the past 13 years. I have no idea how or why this could have happened, but I wanted to get it out of the way before I continued on to reviewing the rest of the set. Now, taking a look at the front of the TIE Fighter, you can see that there is some really nice round shaping brought together by that printed dome piece. It looks really good. This was actually the first TIE Fighter to not use that classic style TIE Fighter cockpit piece. The print detail is really nice, but unfortunately the gray printing color isn't exactly matching to the light bluish gray or the weird off green gray or the dark gray. It's kind of its own thing, which kind of clashes, but otherwise I think it looks really good. And you can see right next to the cockpit, there is some really nice shaping that comes together using some slope pieces. I feel like that was really satisfying to put together. Looking at the top of the cockpit, you can see that there is this classic printed dome piece that's been used on a million different TIE Fighters. And for some reason, the instructions have you put it on backwards. It should have the black stripes going to the back of the ship like I have here, but I looked at the instructions and they have them going forward for some reason. No idea why they have it like that, but I don't think it's quite as accurate or good looking. Taking a look at the back of the TIE Fighter, you can see the shaping is brought together nicely with some giant dish pieces, and you can even see the twin ion engines represented by those translucent red pieces there. Taking a look at the wings of the TIE Fighter, you can see that they are designed beautifully. On the outside, you have a wonderful hexagonal shape, and you've got some really good detailing on the center of the wings. And then the little prongs that reach out to the ends of the wings are represented by these really nice bar pieces. I think they just bring the look of the TIE Fighter wings together very well. Also, this TIE Fighter is not only the first standard TIE Fighter to be in light gray as opposed to blue, also is the first one to have the gray wrap entirely around the wings, which makes it look infinitely better than the TIE Fighters of old, which kind of just forewent that and just had giant gaps in the design and didn't look particularly good. The design here, minus the weird off-gray color, looks phenomenal, and I think helps this TIE Fighter really stand out as the start of the modern-day good TIE Fighters. Taking a look at our first play feature, if you want to get into the cockpit, you can of course ratchet the canopy up, but for much better access you can even ratchet the roof up, which looks a lot better. Inside there is a small little control panel that you can move out of the way, and then you can take your TIE Fighter pilot and place him in there. After doing so, you just put the panel back up, close the roof and the front cockpit piece, and then yeah, you have your pilot in there. My lighting conditions don't make it super easy to see him in there, but under normal lighting conditions, you can see him flying the TIE Fighter, which I think is pretty cool. And then if you didn't notice, the little red cannons at the bottom of the TIE Fighter are represented by Flickfire missiles. Now, I know that everybody knows how Flickfire missiles work, but just in case you don't, using one of our figures as an example here, first, if you try to push it, kind of just falls out like a bomb, not particularly effective. And then on this set, it's kind of hard to get a good angle, but if you do get a good flick on the missile, it can really pop and it flies off and it kind of gets lost, which I think is cool. I know I missed the figure, but still a fun feature. And then finally, of course, this set is super swooshable. As you can see, I just like fly it around, really shaking it and testing the wings and everything. Nothing's falling off, nothing's breaking under my hand, but it just handles super well and is super fun to fly around and pretend you're chasing X-Wings with. Yeah, definitely my favorite play feature of the set is just the ability to just swoosh it around and fly it like a little toy TIE Fighter, which I think is awesome. Having taken a full look back on this set, one that I never had as a kid, I gotta say it's a really cool set. You first of all get a lot of minifigures. I feel like originally you would have just gotten a Stormtrooper and a pilot, but here you get a Death Star Trooper, which was new at the time. You get that unique astromech droid, and you even get an Imperial officer on top of your pilot. Of course, the quality isn't all there with the minifigures, but honestly, I don't even really think that matters much. I just think the quantity is really nice and helps bolster this TIE Fighter, which on its own is really good. Like I said, first actually gray normal TIE Fighter as opposed to the blue. It has that wonderful design for the wings that just makes it look so good, and it's a really solid playset. Nothing's falling off, nothing's breaking. You can swoosh it around and shoot off your missiles and fit your pilot in. It offers a lot of fun. Adjusting for inflation, the price is, $77 to $80. I think that's a little bit much, and I definitely don't think this is worth getting brand new in box for $100 nowadays. However, if you do want probably the best TIE Fighter LEGO has made, which is the Solo version, you are paying at least $100 more, if not $150 more. So if you want one for relatively cheap in new condition, I think this isn't a bad alternative. It looks really good on your shelf, you get some unique minifigures, and you have a fun playset. So while not my first option, still a very cool set, and I'm glad I got the chance to take a look at it here on the channel. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.